Welcome to Beach Update. I'm your program host, Leon Patterson. We come around once a week talking to you folks on Treasure Island and St. Petersburg Beach, things that are of particular interest to you. We kind of forget the rest of the world. We've got an Emily going on in the Atlantic right now and a variety of other things. So let's forget that for the moment and concentrate things that we're interested in right here on the beaches. Please welcome back to us our guest for today, none other than the mayor of the city of St. Petersburg Beach, Ron McKenney. Ron, good having you back.
Thank you, Leon.
You've looked nice and tanned and relaxed. You've taken the summer off, is that it?
Yes. Unfortunately, yes. I'm very quiet.
Been on the quiet side? No, come on, not for you. Never on the quiet side.
Not in the city. I'm talking about my regular business. It's been a quiet summer, and I've enjoyed it.
Well, that's good. That's good. But city things have been heating up. Oh, no, maybe that's a wrong. Heating up. Busy.
Busy.
Busy, yeah.
There's been a lot with the budget and the beautification projects and the 30th anniversary celebration that we're getting ready for and what have you.
All right, start with budget. Where is budget? What is it? Is it all done? Is it all over? All wrapped up, signed, sealed,
The budget's
delivered?
done. We had no tax increase for the city of St. Petersburg Beach, although everyone's going to see the county tax increase and think that we did it, but we didn't.
You've got to look closely and see where it is.
You have to look very closely. But we had no tax increase this year. We've approved a 3% cost of living across the board yesterday. That's not large, but it's fair. And now we're looking into some restructuring of some of the areas of the city. Last year, we put a few departments together to save some people and some help. Our police chief, Ed Kelly, did a huge job on reorganizing the police department. Actually ended up with a savings of about $80,000 and saved quite a few thousand this year. Now we're looking for some more reorganization, trying to tighten the belt, and it seems to be working.
You have an advisor that has come, that the city has hired.
Yes, we
look over your shoulder.
We hired a consultant who came in with ideas. We took some of the ideas and some we didn't. And I would say that probably paid for itself 2 or 3 times over. I'd like it to have paid for itself 10 or 12 times over, but a consultant will come into an area and give you some very good thoughts and some very good ideas, but frequently they don't fit the all-over picture of a small town. Mm-hmm. So we're still dealing with them.
So whatever a consultant says, it still has to be modified to the individual situation.
Absolutely, and I'll give you an example. In our particular town, there was some thought that we have one person ahead of both police and fire. Well, we have Chief Hartman and Chief Kelly, who have run these departments for a long time, been involved in the city for, both of them, 30 years. We're not going to change that, not as long as they're there. They're just qualified, top-notch people. So you don't throw a monkey wrench into something that's running as smoothly as our police and fire.
Mm-hmm. 2 excellent departments.
2 excellent departments.
They're, as I mentioned, Emily at the head of the program, they're both well apprised of hurricane disaster preparedness.
Oh, yes.
And programs that we have had here before. Very knowledgeable gentlemen. So I can see where you as city might not want to make any changes.
The thought was you can save a few dollars here and a few dollars there. Well, what does it say? Penny wise and pound foolish. There are times you just don't try to save too much. You don't want to lose the excellence you have. Mm-hmm. So
that's basically looking at the reorganization under budgetary things for this year. But isn't the budget really an ongoing process? Are you looking ahead for next year or 2 or 5 years down the road?
Or 10 years.
Or 10.
Right.
It's one of those things that you never stop considering.
It's like buying land, Leon. Every time a city buys land, you get criticized. A lot of people say, well, you don't need that. But if you look 10 years down the road, where would we be now without the parks that we have? Where would we be without the property for the gym? We're expanding with what now the annex was the Meisner Marine property. A lot of criticism when the city bought that. But where can you, again, get waterfront property and control it for the residents of the city and the use of the city? So you have to look 10, 20 years down the road.
That then gets into the beautification process. That's all kind of meshes and one cog fits into the next.
A very rare community, St. Petersburg Beach. Referendum was to spend a great deal of money the next 2 years on streets and sidewalks and beautification. And they voted better than 2 to 1 to spend the money, even if it meant raising taxes. Well, we managed to save enough this year so we didn't have to raise the taxes, and we can still do the beautification program they want to do. But nevertheless, they voted yes. If it's going to cost more, do it. And as you've seen at the entrance from Pasadena to St. Pete Beach, that's the first of the beautification projects. And the trees have spurred a great deal of talk. We've had 6 people into City Hall saying, I will buy a tree if you'll plant it.
Terrific.
And I'll keep it up. And people have come in for the 30th anniversary. One example, a man came in and said, the entrance looks so pretty now. I want to be more involved, and gave us a check for $100 for the 30th anniversary.
Magnificent.
So,
as you say, it's a rare community.
Well, over the years, we try to appease everybody. So we've always put 2 trees in Paso Grill, 2 trees in the middle of the beach, 2 up at the north end, and then everybody can say, gee, we got 2 trees. But this year the commission decided, let's do one project, a strong one, so people can get the feel of what it'll be like. And we just happened to pick this particular entrance. It was the weakest, I think, of the entrances. And
Well, so many people use it. It's the last thing they see as they go
Right.
to work in the morning, and the first thing they see as they're coming home in the evening.
Right.
And isn't it nice to know that you have left that in the morning and you have that to come home to in the evening?
It's a great deal of pride.
My town, my city. I live there. Look what's going on. And I think that that permeates all the way through as you talk about 2 department heads, fire chief, police chief. So again, it's one cog helping another one turn the big wheels.
Yes, and I think you have to find the cogs, as you would say. I cited at the meeting the other night, and I'll cite again publicly anytime. Last year, one of the changes we made, excuse me, was the taking one of our recreation supervisor, actually the assistant recreation director, Leah Hoffman, and moved her into parks, because we had enough in recreation and we needed more in that area when they consolidated the departments. I never talked to Leah. I'm not sure how she felt about it, but after all those years in recreation, I'm sure it wasn't a very exciting thought to go from there out into the field like she did. But the job she has done and the people she has hired is just unbelievable. You can go any place and look at the entrances now, the parks, the mini parks. They are up. They're beautiful. The ball fields, everything is just unbelievably sharp, and it's getting better. Because she's a worker as well. She doesn't send the crews out. You see her out there. I've seen her pulling shrubs, out here watering trees.
Very organized lady.
Yes.
She's been a guest a number of times in the past years, and as we have talked, as she was with the recreation department, she had things organized right down to the last little T, and dotting the I's, crossing the T's.
Helped us get a lot of grants, by the way. She did a lot of work on the grants.
So I can see where she would be valuable no matter where she's going to be used.
Yes, and she has an extra pride. She's grown up here, and her family's here. That's very nice. She has a very strong pride in the city. But she and her crew, you never see them when they aren't working. I never see them riding around. I never see them sitting someplace. They're out there all the time, working every minute.
So many of us kind of sit back and say, city, county, state crew, just kind of rest on their shovels, so to speak, regardless of what department they're in.
Sure.
Lean on their pencils, and they're going to get their money anyway. What the heck? They're going to. Well, but that apathetic attitude isn't in St. Petersburg Beach at all.
No, it isn't, really. I'm sure that there's a little of it. There always is. But as I drive around the town and walk around, which I do a lot, I'm very proud of the people who work here. We're on skeleton crews. We're not loaded with people. Leah needs another person, and we've recognized that fact because of the work they're doing. But you call down there and say there's a corner that's a mess, and that afternoon it's gone. It's cleaned up. And not because the mayor called or a commissioner called. You can call.
It's beautiful.
It is unbelievable. They just have that very strong pride. Not just that department, by the way, but that happens to be one I've noticed a lot more because I happen to be very strong into beautification.